がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンこの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
Alright, Ben and Taylor here, True School Sports today. I'm joined by someone that I know has been in Japanese boxing quite a long time, and Daisuke Sugiura, right? Sugiura?
Oh, yeah, Sugiura.
Sugiura. I want to butcher your name. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, Daisuke, it's an honor to have you on the channel. I know we're here at Inoue Fight Week for the Cardenas fight. You've interacted with Inoue a lot, and you covered him over the years. For the American fans, he's still kind of a mystery. Like we see him on Top Rank every now and then, but like, who is Naoya Inoue the man?
Wow, that's a difficult question to answer.
Yeah.
But my impression is, yeah, I would say he's a regular guy, but in the ring, obviously he's not he's not a regular guy. He's a special fighter. He's a great fighter. He's one of the best fighter I ever seen. But outside of the ring, yeah, he used to be kind of shy and quiet. Now he's getting used to the attention, and he actually opened up. But my impression is he's still like a regular guy, nice guy,
Yeah.
humble guy,
Very humble.
yeah, good guy.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes when you read like articles, Japanese translations to English are rough. So sometimes he may say something and it may translate a different way. And he may come off a certain way. So that's good to know. I always heard he's humble from the Japanese people, in a way.
I think so. I think he's a humble by nature.
Yeah.
That's his nature.
Okay. Okay. As far as like with him fighting in America, right? Like when you walk into the MGM Grand, there's a big poster of him plastered on the top of the MGM Grand. As someone who's Japanese and you've been in America for a long time, did you ever think you would see a Japanese fighter plastered on the MGM Grand?
No, I've been covering boxing like for almost 20 years. Like it was always like a Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, nowadays it's Canelo actually. Canelo is the face of boxing, and now I see the Japanese guy, the banner at the MGM Grand.
Big poster, yeah.
Which is crazy and amazing, and of course I never imagined that this day would come.
What do you think like this will do for the future of Japanese boxing? In a way, headlining in Vegas in such a big card.
Well, this is not the first time actually.
I know it's not the first time, but I know he had
already did that
Nieves, he had Das Marinas, and Maloney.
Jason Maloney. And, yeah, he was supposed to fight Casimero too,
yeah.
but I think it was Mandalay Bay. Yeah, I believe. But anyway, obviously it's good for Japanese boxing in the future. Now, we obviously have Shohei Ohtani in the major league.
The biggest.
He's probably the best player in the major league. And Naoya Inoue, one of the best boxer in the world right now. Maybe him or Alexander Usyk or Terence Crawford. Probably one of the top 3 fighters in the world. That's great. And of course, in Japan, a lot of young fighter wants to be like him, wants to be Naoya Inoue. And, yeah, probably 10 years from now, 20 years from now, yeah, in the future we might have a lot of great fighter coming from Japan, influenced by Inoue. It's entirely possible. So obviously it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so, because when I was out there and I would go to different gyms, I would ask the gym owners, because I see a lot of kids in the gym, and they'd say, yeah, the signups have went up. The more popular he's gotten, the more kids have been signing up for boxing. So it seems like he's influenced the generation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most important thing to influence the young people, young guys. Yeah, the future is bright. The sky is the limit for Japanese boxing. I believe.
I think so too. I know you had plenty of interviews with him. I know I believe you had a recent story at the Ring Magazine, right? With him.
Right.
Over the years, like, is there a interaction you have in a way that sticks out, like maybe like a story about him?
The one thing I remember is before Fulton fight, Stephen Fulton fight, a lot of people thought that would be the biggest test for Inoue, because he's moving up to the super featherweight, and in his first fight at the new weight class, he's facing the best fighter at the weight class, 122. Well, a lot of people, even like Japanese Inoue fans, thought it would be the tough test.
Yeah,
The test for him. But I talked to Naoya, and he was actually the happiest guy. he asked me like, excuse me, so Fulton is big? Just like, talking about his size.
Yeah.
Like, so how big he is, or that kind of things. It could be the toughest fight of his career, and also he looked happiest guy, in the world. That was impressive.
So he almost got joy from the fact that it was perceived to be such a big challenge for him. And then obviously we know he put on a masterclass performance.
Why? That tells you he's always looking for a new challenge.
The biggest and best fights for him. Okay,
right.
okay. Well, objectively speaking, like what do you think? I know you got the Junto Nakatani fight. We'll start there actually. What do you think about that fight, and how big is that in Japan? Because the Americans may not understand how big that fight is, but how big do you think that fight is in Japan?
One thing, Nakatani is one of the top 10 pound fighter already. But talk about the popularity-wise, it's just so much bigger.
Than
as of
Junto.
now. Junto is coming up, but still, he's a relatively unknown in Japan. So people are saying it's a Japan's Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's wrong, but we still need more time to, how do you say,
marinate, make Junto a bigger name.
Right.
Yeah.
So the next year is actually the best timing. To me, Junto is going to have the unification fight. I think
Nishida.
Nishida, and his name is probably grow in the fight after the fight. So a few more fight for Junto. Then next year is probably the best timing, and then next year, as a Junto unifies the bantamweight, then moving up, then we truly have the Japan Super Bowl next year. So I think next year is the best timing, and I hope it's gonna be the exciting fight.
Be a hell of an event. I hope to be there myself for it. I know this guy's not a champion, but he's a big name and he's ranked really highly. Is there a possibility maybe you think Junto fighting Tenshin makes him bigger for an Inoue fight? Tenshin Nasukawa?
Just talk about the name recognition.
Yeah, because
actually Tenshin is bigger than Nakatani.
Yeah.
Tenshin is like a kickboxing superstar. So he's a public figure. He speaks very well.
I know.
You know that, right?
I've
you know
seen.
kickboxing a little bit. He's actually a superstar.
I know he in 2022 he fought, I forgot the guy's name, but he sold out the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, he's huge. When I was in Japan, people knew him. Sometimes when I talk to them, they know him just as much as Inoue, or maybe more sometimes.
Right.
Big deal.
Yeah. Right. So obviously if Nakatani face Tenshin, it's a mega fight. It's a crazy big fight. But the timing wise, I don't think so. Probably Tenshin is going to fight a title for probably end of this year.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but probably that fight they are thinking, the handler of Tenshin is thinking is Tenshin versus Takei.
Tenshin versus Takei.
I think there's I'm not very, I don't really know much about kickboxing, but there's a rivalry between, I think, Tenshin and Takei. They know each other for a long time, and that's also a big fight. So I don't think Nakatani and Tenshin, their paths will cross in the near future. But in the future, maybe like next year, after 2 years from now, it's possible.
Could be a big fight. Okay.
Not now.
Okay. You said that I know you said you've been covering boxing for 20 years. So how has Japanese boxing changed from 20 years ago to now with like the rise of Naoya Inoue? How do you think it's changed since then?
Okay. I don't know where to begin. It's entirely different. Now obviously we have Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani and Kenshiro Teraji.
Beast.
3 pound, 4 pound top 10 fighters, which is crazy. I could never imagine 20 years ago. I mean, there are a few good fighters obviously in Japan too, like Hosumi Hasegawa or Yamanaka, those guys. But now it's actually, I think, whole different level. It's so much better now.
Yeah, because I feel like all the time. I mean, you got fighters from America coming to Japan now. Like you have Brian Norman going over there. You have Angelo Leo going over there. So it seems like, in its own unique way, Japan has become one of the meccas of boxing in the world.
Yeah, lower weight classes.
Lower weight classes.
Everyone wants to go to Japan and have a good fight and make a good money.
Yeah.
So now I think probably 4 hotspot: Saudi Arabia, United States, and UK and Japan. I think Japan became one of the 4 hotspots.
Yeah, and it's a different environment when you go to a fight there. It's, the crowd is very meek and quiet and polite. Well, where does that come from? Just the culture? Because I know in baseball they have drums and they play trumpets and.
Right. Yeah, they are very respectful crowd. In the land usually quiet, and after the bell they usually sometimes stand up and cheers. It's a kind of like a tradition. You've been there?
Yeah, I have twice.
It's a little how do you say? Maybe classic music.
Formal, it's very formal, classic music. Everybody's just
Yeah, I think I like it. It's a very original way for Japanese people to cheer boxing. Yeah. So I think it's good.
It seems like there's a big respect factor. The Japanese have a big respect for the fighters. They look at them kind of I don't know. You can tell me, but it seems like they kind of look at fighters as maybe close to samurais or heroes or something like that.
Probably like a bushy samurai factor. I guess. Yeah. I don't know the origin. I can't talk about the origin. It's been like that for the last 20, 30 years.
Okay. All right, well, Daisuke, I don't want to hold you up because I know that any minute now some things will start happening. But any message to the boxing world you want to give about what you have going on with your journalism career and things like that?
You mean message to?
Yeah, a message to the boxing world about yourself or the fights this weekend. Just any final word you want to give? Anything you want to leave the fans with?
I don't know. I'm not in a position to send a message.
All right. Well, Daisuke,
I'm from Japan. I'm humble guy.
Humble guy, quiet, does his job and does a good job at it. So Daisuke, thank you. I appreciate this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, and we got a monster in town. For more great boxing content from America to Japan and everywhere else in between, make sure you guys subscribe, stay tuned, and keep it locked.